What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JP's when the keys is too easy. And we back with another video. We are going to react to Immortal Technique, the cause of death. And apparently this is a 9/11 response video. So I'm going to I'm gonna shout out who gave me this comment. Shout out to John for recommending this video. And let's get into it. Oh, this beat is this beat is crazy. Alright. Now, before we get into it, I'm really finna break down my analysis of this whole 9/11 situation. Like I said, okay, if you have a relative that passed away in this incident, my condolences, rest in peace to them. Like I said, this is no disrespect to any of the victims. This is a disrespect to the way that this situation was executed. All right, so now you see that the plane enters the building through here, right? And upon the entrance of the plane to the building, for some odd reason, the plane explodes inside the building and then the plane does not go out through the other side. Now, if I'm not mistaken, when planes are flying through the air, the planes are going from at least 500 to 600 miles per hour while they're in the air, right? If the plane was going that fast into the building, wouldn't logic and physics see the plane going out through the other side? Just like a bullet. Just like I'm not saying anything. When you shoot something, the bullet goes in and comes out. So see, if you shot through a piece of paper, the bullet would go in and out the same way. The bullet would not. There would be very few cases where the bullet would be lodged inside the person, unless it hit a bone or it hit like a major organ and it stopped. But other than that, the bullet goes straight through, especially if the bullet is traveling at a very high velocity. Just like the plane was traveling at a very high velocity. And somehow the plane manages to explode while inside the building. The only way that I would ever assume that this could have physically happened was that there were already explosives inside the building. This is the only way I can think. They were explosive. That's the only way that this could have happened, because there's no way that the plane would just explode while it's inside the building. The plane like by literal physics, this is common sense right here. This is not just me flying off at the mouth, making some unproven cockamamie. Oh, I'm just paranoid. I'm just paranoid. No, this is physics. The plane is not supposed to just stop inside the building and explode. The plane is physically supposed to go in and go out. So there had to be some type of explosive or some type of trigger that triggered the plane to blow up inside the building. And there's no way. And the thing is that they were able to successfully aim 2 planes at both of the World Trade Center towers, which is ridiculous. Crazy. And just the fact that they were able to aim 2 planes and knock down both towers. So now, here's what we finna do. I'm finna show you something. I know you heard how the other 3 or 4 planes, I think one crashed into a field in Pennsylvania and one crashed into the Pentagon. I'm gonna show you something else. Pentagon at the plane. Alright. I'm gonna show you. Look at this right here. And then I'm gonna. All right. do you see? Do you see the width of this hole right here? The hole is not wide enough for a plane to go through. There is no way that a whole plane is just going to fit inside of here. I mean, the only logical explanation is if the plane came in diagonally, like on an angle like this. That's the only logical explanation that you can give me for a hole like this. That's the only logical explanation that you can give me, because there's no freaking way. There's no way. Like the hole is not wide enough unless the plane's coming in diagonally. That I can see. Maybe there was explosives placed inside the Pentagon as well. Again, we will never know that, because why would they tell us? Why would they snitch on themselves like that? They not that stupid. See, I done broke this down before the song even started. Oh wow.
Immortal technique. Revolutionary Volume 2. Yeah. Broadcasting live from Harlem, New York. Let the truth be known.
And before we break this, and again, I'm sorry for pausing, but before we even get into this thing, my ever loving conclusion about this whole thing, this was just like a scare tactic type. Again, to try to, it's like a fear mongering. I know you heard of fear mongering. You heard of fear mongering to get people scared for a certain event. And this was just a way to introduce the war on terror. This is a great way to introduce the war on terror, because now everybody was so scared. Everybody's blaming everything on the terrorists, blaming everything on Al Qaeda, and the airport security. They had to come up with an excuse of why airport security had to get tighter. So. And why, again, this is another excuse of why they had to monitor everything. Another excuse of why they have to tap the cell phones. Another excuse of why you have to tap every camera. Another excuse of why you can look into everything. Another excuse of why you can hack and record every conversation, word for word, that is taken on my phone, a landline, a jail phone, even the flip phones. And nothing is safe. Everything is being recorded. Even this video right now, it's being recorded.
You better watch what the fuck flies out of your mouth, or I'ma hijack a plane and fly it into your house. Burn your apartment with your family tied to the couch and slit your throat, so when you scream, only blood comes out. I doubt that there could ever be a more wicked MC, cause AIDS-infested child molesters aren't sicker than me. I see the world for what it is, beyond the white and the black. The way the government downplays historical facts, cause the United States sponsored the rise of the Third Reich, just like the CIA trained terrorists how to fight. Bill Ball.
The CIA trained terrorists, and the United States sponsored the Third Reich, like World War II. The Third Reich was in World War II, because that's when they were fighting the Germans. I think the Germans, yeah. And then World War III was like with Russia. Was it with Russia? We were still fighting a lot of European countries, and I don't think Russia was an ally. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on my facts. I'm blanking on my history right quick. I'm blanking.
Arms and sneak box cutters onto a flight. When I was a child, the devil himself bought me a mic, but I refused to offer, cause God sent me to strike with skills unused like fallopian tubes in a dike. My words will expose George Bush and Bin Laden as two separate parts of the same seven-headed dragon.
My words will expose Bush and Bin Laden as two parts of the same seven-headed dragon. See, you gotta think. Everybody in this system is working together. Everyone is working together, whether it be the most unlikely of people, because everyone's working together. You gotta think. When they when they showed that video of Bin Laden being killed. Now, do you really believe they didn't even show him? They didn't even show them going into the actual cave that he was in and literally killing the dude. Like, how does it take you 13 years? How does it take you 10 years to find a dude hiding in a cave? And he's making videos from a cave. You can't trace the IP address of the videos because obviously he has to have a Wi-Fi connection in order to put the videos on the internet. So you can't trace the IP address where he's recording these videos at and find him and kill him. It didn't take you 10 years to find him. You didn't want to find him in the beginning and you just put it off because it wasn't important. Come on now. Let's be real. Like I said, you can trace you can trace down if you're good enough at hacking, you can hack into somebody's IP address and get their location and find out where they're at. 'Cause there's they couldn't have got some of these hackers to just hack into his videos, hack into his camera, where he was using, and get his IP address so they can go over to wherever he was at in that cave and find him. But then again, maybe they waited until the Obama presidency to try to make Obama seem like a better person. They try to boost him up in the public eye because when he was first elected, everybody was like, we don't know how he's gonna do. I don't know. We kind of skeptical about Obamacare, all this type of stuff, and then he killed Bin Laden. Oh, okay. I appreciate this dude. Hold on, I gotta get some water. My throat is a little dry. All right, now that water really helped. But yeah, man, you really think that they really killed him and just threw him in the sea? Okay. Oh, but he probably in some bunker somewhere on some island that nobody's ever heard of, probably chilling with millions and millions and millions of dollars and just living his life.
I'm the truth, so you don't hear me. You think Illuminati's just a fucking conspiracy theory? That's why conservative racists are all running shit, and your phone is tapped by the federal government. So I'm
tapping the phones. Phone taps. How do you think they find all these big drug dealers? Phone taps. Phone taps. They tap the phones. They wiretap everything.
jamming frequencies in your brain when you speak to me. Technique, a rip a rapper to pieces indecently. Pack weapons illegally, cause I'm never hesitant. Sniper scoping up commission, controlling the president.
The next piece of evidence you're about to see is the biggest smoke.
Again, like I said, how does it go in the building and not exit out of the other side? You know what I'm saying? How does that happen? The plane is obviously going at a pretty good speed in order to go through the building, and it just miraculously stops and explodes in the building. That you know what I'm saying? You can't believe everything. You got to question everything that happens. I mean, you have to question everything. You can't put your faith in anything, because again, people will snake you. The government will obviously snake you. The people who you least expect will be waiting to backstab you at the first chance they get. So just be wary of who you put your trust and your faith in. If you're religious, stay prayed up. You know what I mean? Stay grounded in your religion. If you're religious, stay grounded in your religion. Cause we need it.
Gun of them all. President George W. Bush signed Presidential Decision Directive W199I, telling FBI agents as well as defense intelligence officers that if they tried to stop Al-Qaeda, they would be arrested under national security implications. It's been in every...
Didn't I tell you everything? Didn't I tell you that everybody was working together? Didn't I tell you that everyone is working together? Now why would he tell people to not go after Bin Laden? Why would he not? You see what I'm saying? That makes zero sense. That's like when that Parkland shooting. That's like in the Parkland shooting when the security guard wouldn't go inside the gym when he knew they when he knew that the dude was in there shooting up the kids and he was the only armed guard right there at the moment, but he didn't go inside the building. Why didn't he go inside the building? Like, why isn't George Bush taking? Why didn't he take immediate action? Why didn't he take immediate action? Why would you literally tell the people that you're running with, don't capture this dude, don't capture him, because if you do, I'm going to arrest you. You get arrested for doing the right thing. Pretty backwards to me.
Publication from the Wall Street Journal to the Washington Times. Actual lawsuits have now been filed by FBI agents who are outraged by the fact that they were not allowed to stop Al-Qaeda. The global crime syndicate that George W. Bush and his family fronts for has everything to gain from the September 11th attacks. A national ID card, a national control grid, a cashless society. It's part of the public record. George Bush signed the documents threatening Defense Intelligence and FBI agents with arrest if they stopped Al-Qaeda. This is the most absolutely treasonous, treacherous thing he could possibly do.
3 months. See that June 11th. 3 months before it happened. They're connected. Yeah, they turn a blind eye to terrorism. Of course, they don't even recognize the real terrorists. Most of these terrorist attacks occur domestically. It's not even from people that are from the Middle East, which is part of Africa. Most of these terrorist attacks occurred from Americans, mostly white males. Mostly, very, very, very often, it's white males that commit these mass shootings and terrorist attacks and bombings. Just recently, we had another shooting up in California. I think 12 people lost their lives. Rest in peace to them. And we had last week we had another shooting at a synagogue in Pittsburgh. RIP to everybody that lost their lives in that shooting. It's been a shooting. It's almost like we become desensitized to mass shootings. It's like it happens so much that you just get used to it. And that's insane. How do you get used to somebody running up in a building and just killing 15 people? How do you get used to that? That's the thing. We're desensitized to that. How is that normal? How is that normal that we just see a mass shooting and we just keep scrolling? Like, how? That's not even, I can admit, I've been desensitized to mass shooting. I can admit that, but it's crazy. I don't know how. It's crazy. Like, you just see, 15 people died. Just keep going about your day. Like, oh my God, it's crazy. I don't get it. Like, it's just, they do such a good job at desensitizing you to just craziness that is just like, nobody cares. Like how they drop bombs every day in the Middle East. They drop bombs every day. Like they drop bombs every day, all day. And we're just fine with it. Wow.
George Bush is a mass murderer.
Father, forgive them, for they don't know right from wrong. The truth is set you free, written down in a song. And the song has the cause of death written in code. The word of God brought to light that'll save your soul. Save your soul, motherfucker. Save your soul. Yeah. I hacked the Pentagon for self-incriminating evidence of Republican-manufactured white powder pestilence, Marine Corps flak vest with the guns and ammo, spitting bars like a demon stuck inside a piano, turn a Sambo into a soldier with just one line. So here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. They gave Al-Qaeda $6 billion in 1989 to 1992, and now the last chapters of Revelation.
They gave Al-Qaeda $6 billion. Wow, they just handed out $6 billion like it ain't nothing. And listen, I'm gonna tell you why else Afghanistan is so important to this whole. I'm gonna tell you why Afghanistan is so important to this whole equation. This is why they had to start. This is why this really had to happen, because they had to find a reason to put troops in Afghanistan. This is a reason. This had to find a reason to put troops in Afghanistan. Oh, see, they bombed. They touched the beautiful American soil. Now we have to go and get our revenge. But you got to remember what's in Afghanistan. Number one, oil reserves. Oil reserves. If you control the oil, you control the world. Number two, poppy fields. And you're wondering, what are poppy fields for? Poppy fields are where they grow the cocaine and the coke that they flood the communities with. So, and you remember, they're armed. These poppy fields are protected by armed guards. They're protecting drug fields, fields that produce cocaine and crack, that they flood into the underprivileged communities, and which is the reason why most people in the hood are struggling. Again, you got to remember, and then they fund these. They fund the cartels. They fund the cartels. You can't tell me that Pablo Escobar wasn't working for the government. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me you can't just export. I mean, no, you know me. No, you can't just import all that cocaine into Florida without the government knowing. You can't just import that many. You can't just import all these drugs into the U.S. or you can't just move drugs, so many drugs domestically without the government knowing. Because you got to remember, border security is tight. Border security is tight. It's mad tight. So if it got into the U.S., that means they let it go through. They didn't just sneak by border security like border security was asleep. No, they let it go through, and then they flood. Then you think thanks to Ronald Reagan, thanks to Bill Clinton, they flooded the communities with crack, with heroin, with now it's the codeine, it's the mollies and the perks and all that. So you flood the communities and you destroy the black communities even more. Like I said, like I said, all these drug empires, they all work for this. They all work for the government. They were all CIA. Pablo Escobar, CIA. El Chapo, CIA. Freeway Ricky Ross, CIA. John Gotti, CIA. Whitey Bulger, CIA. Freeway Rick Ross, CIA. Larry Hoover, Big Meech, CIA. You're government agents. If you're selling drugs to your community, you're a government agent. You're helping you're helping the government do its job. You're a government agent. You're helping the government do what it's already doing. You're just aiding it. You're just aiding and abetting in the sale of drugs. And then, like I said, you'll get arrested for putting drugs in the community. But like I said, they'll arrest you for something that they're putting into the community. You see the hypocrisy in that? They'll gladly flood the community with heroin and crack, but if they catch you with it, or if they catch you selling it, they'll put you in jail. But it's there, but they put it there for you to use. So I don't get the same thing. The guns. They put the guns in the community, and then you have to go through them to get the gun licensed, even though they put the gun in your community. So if you have a gun that's not licensed, you're going to jail, and you're going to add a year for the amount of bullets that are in the gun. You see the hypocrisy right here. You see the hypocrisy that's being displayed right in front of your eyes.
dreams are coming true. And I know a lot of people find it hard to swallow this, cause subliminal bigotry makes you hate my politics, but you act like America wouldn't destroy 2 buildings in a country that was sponsoring bombs dropped on our children. I was watching the towers, and though I wasn't the closest, I saw them crumble to the earth like they were full of explosives, and they thought nobody noticed the news report that they...
Exactly. Like, didn't I say the buildings were full of explosives? Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that earlier? Why? How else could that have happened if had they not put an explosive inside the building? Same way we're inside the Pentagon. But like I said, the only way the hole in the Pentagon could have been explained is if the plane went in diagonally. That's the only way it could have been explained. But the thing is, if it went in diagonally, it wouldn't have caused all that. Would it cause, like? Let me see. Let me see if I got it back. Let me see. Hold on. If it went in diagonally, yeah, I can kind of see. I can kind of see where that could be plausible. I can see where that could be plausible, but it's probably, I don't know. That would be crazy if you flew a plane diagonally and the tip of the wing is that close to the ground. That's crazy.
They did about the bombs planted on the George Washington Bridge. 4 non-Arabs arrested during the emergency, and then it disappeared from the news permanently. They dubbed the tape of Osama, and they said it was proof. Jealous of our freedom, I can't believe you bought that excuse. Rocking a motherfucking flag don't make you a hero. Word to ground zero, the devil crept into heaven. God overslept on the 7th. The new world order was born on September 11th. Father, forgive them, for they don't know right from wrong. The truth is set you free, written down in a song. And the song has the cause of death written in code. The word of God brought to light.
Like I said, man, they don't care about how they will take over the world, man, and they don't care how many people they got to kill in order to do it. They don't. The system is built on capitalism and world domination, and they will get to that. They will get those 2 goals, no matter how many people they got to kill. They will destroy. They will kill everybody in this world if they got to. They will.
Better save your soul, motherfucker. Save your soul.
And apparently, all this is supposed to be carried out by 2030. So let's see how we are in 12 years.
And just so conservatives don't take it to heart, I don't think Bush did it cause he isn't that smart. He's just a stupid puppet taking orders on his cell phone from the same people that sabotaged Senator Wellstone. The military.
Like I said, remember, all of these senators and these politicians are puppets. They all follow orders from above. Even the president. The president answers, to be honest, the president answers to Congress because, like I said, Congress can override a presidential veto. And then you got to remember, there is a shadow government. And then you got to remember, the U.S. is still owned by England. The U.S. is still owned by England because you remember the U.S. used to be England's property. And people think the Queen of England doesn't have any political power. Yes, she does. She's the most powerful woman on earth. If she just snaps her fingers, they can kill 50 people just at the snap of her finger. If she says I want that person dead, they will be dead within the next day. Stop believing the Queen of England got a lot of political power. I don't know who told you that she didn't. The Queen of England might be the most powerful woman on earth. Not just woman, the most powerful person that we physically see on the earth. Because you never know who's working behind the scenes that nobody sees. But like I said, the Queen of England is probably the most powerful person in the earth, in the world. The royal family has probably the most control over the world. More control than these presidents do. Like, come on now, let's be for real.
military industry got it popping and locking, looking for a way to justify the war for its doctrine. And as a matter of fact, Rumsfeld, now that I think back, without 9/11, you couldn't have a war in Iraq or a defense budget of world.
Didn't I say earlier, without 9/11, they wouldn't see, they needed an excuse to go into Iraq and to extract and try to extract the oil from the oil reserves, and now they got resistance from the people that there, so they thought it was gonna be easy, and now this war been going on 15 years. Like I said, they need an excuse to go into Iraq and to get the get access to the oil, get access to more of the drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, everything comes down to one event. Like one event just shapes history forever.
Conquest proportions, kill freedom of speech, and revoke the right to abortion. Tax cut extortion, a blessing to the wealthy and wicked. But you
tax cut extortion, like I think I've said before. There is no law in the U.S. Constitution that requires that we be taxed on our income. There is no law in the United States Constitution that requires an income tax, but yet they tax you. To be honest, I think the taxes are used to determine who's really working a real job. Because if, like I said, if we haven't received taxes from you in a while, Mr. Smith, we haven't received your taxes in 3 years. Where's all your money? How are you making money? Are you selling drugs? See? That's why with most drug operations, there's a front, there's a business that's paying taxes to keep the government off them.
still have to answer to the Armageddon you scripted. And Dick Cheney, you fucking leech, tell them your plans about building your pipelines through Afghanistan and how Israeli troops train the Taliban in Pakistan. You might have some house niggas fooled, but I understand colonialism is sponsored by corporations. That's why Halliburton gets paid to rebuild nations. Tell me the truth, I don't scare into paralysis. I know the CIA saw Bin Laden on dialysis in '98 when he was top 10 for the FBI. Government ties is really why the government lies. Read it yourself instead of asking the government why, cause then the cause of death will cause the propaganda to die.
It's another way to just control the media. I'm not saying this is a hoax, because definitely not a hoax, but just another way to control the media. Like, look at what happened in the Parkland shooting. They took the dude out to McDonald's and the boy got to make. He shot up 15 people and he got to make chicken afterwards. Like, you like what? They try then. Because they can control certain individuals through MK Ultra mind control. I know I sound like I'm paranoid. I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm keeping it real. This system is crazy.
Now, in the 21st century, the system of control continues, but with more sophistication. You see, if there isn't an enemy to fight, you have...
And you see what happens when you spit the information? They got Alex Jones out of here. They got him out of here. They shut his whole platform down. Even though I don't believe he was talking about he visited the Bohemian Grove and saw one of the Illuminati rituals. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. If you saw one of that, you wouldn't be alive to tell the story. But I feel like most of his information, a lot of his information is real though. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I didn't really watch it, a lot of his information, because again, it was a big stigma that he was just a heavy conservative and all this stuff. I mean, he was, but it's just like, that's why I stayed away from it.
Have to manufacture one.
Evil has found a willing servant. Evil has found a willing servant.
Evil has found a willing servant.
because you allowed it. Because you allowed it to serve you. Okay, Mr. Bush. But like I said, if you disagree with any of the points that I made in this video, please feel free to leave it in the comments, because like I said, we can discuss this in the comments. I'm not afraid to discuss with anybody my views or how I feel about anything. Like I said, if you want to have a spirited conversation about this system in the comments, feel free. I'll be more than happy to explain to you why I feel the way I do. But anyway, I feel like we really broke down that video really well. But anyway, I thank you for watching the video. Watch this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell if you haven't. But in other words, stay tuned. I'm out. Peace.